Welcome to Spectrum News at 10, coming to you live from Uyo. My name is Ofonono Joseph. Let's take a look at the top stories. President Tinubu says Nigeria needs community-based peace committees. Federal government outlines reforms to boost investment in agri-food systems. Plus, WHO chief warns Gaza health crisis will last for generations. Stay tuned for details of these stories and more in a moment. Good morning. Glad to have you join us on the news. First in the news this morning is that President Bola Tinubu has called for the establishment of community-based security committees across Nigeria to strengthen peace and stability at the grassroots level. Tinubu met the call in Benin Kebbi during the Northern Traditional Rulers Council (NTRC) General Assembly held at the Presidential Banquet Hall. The president, who was represented by his chief of staff, Femi Gbajabiamila, said the initiative would promote dialogue, conflict resolution, and coordination between traditional rulers, communities, and security agencies. He also emphasized the importance of empowering women and youth through education, economic inclusion, and leadership training as key measures to curb violent extremism. Away from that, the federal government has outlined a series of key reforms and programs aimed at deepening private sector participation in Nigeria's agricultural sector and strengthening food security across the Sahel region. Speaking during a high-level panel discussion at the FAO Hand-in-Hand Sahel Regional Initiative held in Rome, Italy, Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Senator Abubakar Kyari, highlighted the government's strategic actions designed to attract sustainable investments and accelerate agri-food transformation. Kyari listed key initiatives to include the National Agri-Food System Investment Plan, NASIP, which is being upgraded into a national public-private investment portal, a transparent digital platform that will showcase bankable opportunities in mechanization, irrigation storage, processing logistics, and digital agri-food services. He also announced streamlined investment incentives, including targeted tax and import duty reliefs to encourage private investment, alongside risk-sharing facilities developed in partnership with international development organizations. From the red chambers, the Senate has approved a bill to establish the Nigeria Mines Rangers Service, a special agency that will help tackle illegal mining and improve security in mining communities across the country. The decision followed the adoption of a report by the Senate Committee on Solid Minerals Development, chaired by Senator Ekong Sampson during yesterday's plenary. Presenting the report, Senator Sampson said the new agency would provide a structured framework to monitor mining activities, enforce environmental and safety laws, and ensure sustainable mining practices. The Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, who presided over the session, said the proposed service would strengthen existing mining laws and bring sanity to the sector. Meanwhile, the Senate has unanimously passed a groundbreaking bill that mandates life imprisonment for anyone found guilty of defiling a minor with no option for fines. This decisive move marks a significant step towards protecting the rights and safety of children across the nation. The proposal, which is part of sweeping amendments to the Criminal Code Act under the Criminal Code Act Amendment Bill 2025, is a concurrent bill initially passed by the House of Representatives. Leading the debate on the bill, Senate Leader Okpeyemi Bamidele said the amendment seeks to strengthen child protection laws and eliminate gender discrimination in the prosecution of sexual offenses. The offense of defilement, which currently attracts a 5-year jail term, would now carry life imprisonment under the proposed amendment. In addition to life imprisonment for defiling minors, the Senate also proposed a 10-year jail term for rape, defined as the act of forcing a boy, girl, man or woman to have sex without their consent, whether in a brothel or any other premises. In the meantime, the Senate has confirmed the appointment of Dr. Aminu Yusuf as chairman of the National Population Commission (NPC), along with 2 other nominees as federal commissioners. The confirmation followed the presentation and consideration of the report by the Senate Committee on National Identity and National Population during plenary. Presenting the report, Senator Victor Ume, who chairs the committee, listed the nominees as Aminu Yusuf from Niger State as chairman, Joseph Haruna from Nasarawa State, and Tonga Betara from Yobe State as commissioners, stating that the nominees have been screened by the committee. According to Ume, the committee was satisfied with the eligibility of the nominees, and the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, then put the confirmation to a voice vote. Now to the Green Chambers, where the House of Representatives has asked Edo and Delta State governments to expedite action in resolving the disputes between boundary community area through dialogue and mutual understanding. It directed its committees on special duties and national security and intelligence to investigate the allegations of attacks on some of the communities in Edo State by suspected thugs. In a resolution following a motion of urgent public importance by Billy Osawaru, the House asked relevant security agencies, including Nigeria Police Force, Nigerian Army, and National Intelligence Agency (NIA), to take immediate action to restore peace and protect the lives and property of the affected communities. Meanwhile, the House of Representatives has resolved to intervene in the recent face-off between members of the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, Pengasen, and the Dangote refinery, which had disrupted petroleum products distribution nationwide. The resolution of the House followed the consideration and adoption of a motion of urgent public importance co-sponsored by Kano and Sokoto lawmakers Al-Hassan Doguwa and Abdusamad Dasuki, respectively, at yesterday's plenary. Titled Need to Protect Private Investment from Adversarial Unionism, the lawmakers drew the attention of their colleagues to the significance of the Dangote refinery, describing it as the largest private petroleum refinery in Africa. Speaking on the motion, Doguwa, who represents Doguwa in Tudun Wada Federal Constituency, Kano State, stressed the need to protect the Dangote refinery given its strategic significance to the nation's economy. Following the adoption of the motion, the House urged its leadership to broker peace between the two parties in the interest of the nation. It also urged the Federal Ministries of Labor and Employment, Industry, Trade and Investment, as well as Justice, to jointly develop and implement a national framework or set of policies to safeguard private investment of strategic national importance from adversarial and unlawful union actions. From the judiciary, the Federal High Court in Abuja has fixed October 31 for judgment in a suit seeking to stop the 2025 National Convention of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) on grounds of violations of the party's rules. Justice James Omotosho fixed the date after taking arguments for and against the suit filed by 3 aggrieved members of the party: Austin Nwachukwu, Imo PDP chairman; Ama Abraham Nnanna, Abia PDP chairman; and Turner Alab George, PDP secretary, South. They instituted the suit seeking to stop the planned November 15 and 16, 2025 National Convention of PDP, scheduled for Ibadan in Oyo State, where new national officers are expected to be elected on the ground of breach of the party's constitution. Meanwhile, at yesterday's proceedings, Justice Omotosho still reaffirmed that his order on maintaining status quo in respect of the convention must not be flouted by any of the parties involved in the suit. The judge maintained that he would not hesitate to nullify any step taken by any of the parties during the pendency of the case. In a separate development, the Chief of Defense Staff, CDS, General Christopher Musa, has warned that anyone working against Nigeria's sovereignty and unity would be treated as an enemy of the state. Musa issued the warning in Benin Kebbi during the General Assembly of the Northern Traditional Rulers Council, NTRC. He reaffirmed the commitment of the armed forces of Nigeria to defend the nation's territorial integrity and urged citizens to support efforts towards peace and stability. Musa, however, commended the Sultan of Sokoto and other traditional rulers for their roles in promoting peace and unity, describing them as custodians of values and morality who remain crucial in maintaining stability across the country. We move now to Africa, where Uganda's Electoral Commission has said that January 15 has been set as the final date for the country's general elections. 81-year-old President Yoweri Museveni, who has been in power since 1986, is seeking re-election in the polls. But critics have accused his government of political opponents, human rights abuses, and corruption scandals. Meanwhile, 6 other candidates from smaller parties are also standing in the presidential race. Ugandans will also be electing members of parliament on the set date. Still in Africa, Morocco's finance ministry has submitted to parliament its 2026 draft budget totaling more than 760 billion dirhams, up 5.5% from a year ago. The government expects economic growth to slightly slow to 4.6% next year in 2025. Morocco will allocate 140 billion dirhams to health and education in the 2026 budget, a 16% increase compared to last year. Meanwhile, the office of King Mohammed VI said the kingdom would create 27,000 public sector jobs in these 2 areas. Tedros Ghebreyesus has warned that Gaza is experiencing to address the complex needs of the Strip's population. Israel has allowed more medical supplies and other aid to cross into Gaza since the ceasefire with Hamas came into effect on October 10. But Dr. Tedros said levels are below those needed to rebuild the territory's healthcare system. His intervention comes as the U.S. attempts to shore up the ceasefire it helped to broker following an outbreak of violence at the weekend. Still on the foreign scene, the Ukrainian city of Chernihiv is in total blackout following what the authorities describe as a massive assault by Russian missiles and drones, with thousands of people affected. Across the wider Chernihiv region, 4 people are reported to have been killed as residential neighborhoods were struck in the town of Novhorod-Siversky. 10 others were injured, including a 10-year-old girl. The country's most northerly region is reportedly the latest to be hit in an intensifying series of attacks on civilian infrastructure as Russia targets energy supplies, the rail network, homes and businesses in its full-scale invasion of Ukraine. Still to come in the news. Arsenal defeat Atletico 4-0 in UEFA Champions League. Stay tuned for details of these stories in a moment. Glad to have you back. Now we conclude the rest of our news stories. On our business news, the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Oil, Senator Heineken Lokbobiri, has said Nigeria will demand a higher oil production quota at the next meeting of the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, for November. Lokbobiri disclosed this in Abuja during an interview with reporters where he reviewed Nigeria's upstream oil performance 4 years after the enactment of the Petroleum Industry Act and the establishment of the Commission. He said the country's current quota, pegged at about 1.5 million barrels per day, no longer reflects its true production capacity. According to him, the upcoming OPEC meeting provided an opportunity for Nigeria to make a strong case for an upward review to at least 2 million barrels per day. In health, the wife of Ogun State Governor Bamidele Abiodun has said that the state government plans to offer free cancer screening for 10,000 women residents in the state within the next 2 years. Abiodun disclosed this while unveiling the state-of-the-art First Ladies Against Cancer Initiative breast cancer screening clinic at Oba Ademola Hospital and Maternity. She explained that the cancer screening clinics are a product collaborative efforts, adding that launching the clinic during Breast Cancer Awareness Month was significant because breast cancer remains the most common cancer among women worldwide, while it accounts for roughly 1 in 4 cancer cases among Nigerian women. Now to sports, where Arsenal continued their perfect start to the Champions League campaign with a 4-0 victory over Atletico Madrid yesterday. The Gunners had won their first 2 matches without conceding a single goal. However, Mikel Arteta's men failed to score in the first half against Atletico despite dominating possession. In the second half, Gabriel Magalhaes headed in Declan Rice's free kick to open the scoring. Gabriel Martinelli then made it 2-0 before Victor Gyökeres struck twice to end his goal drought. In other fixtures, Paris Saint-Germain thrashed Bayer Leverkusen 7-2, while Newcastle United hammered Benfica 3-0. Manchester City secured a 2-0 win at Villarreal, and Inter Milan crossed Union Saint-Gilloise 4-0. Earlier in the evening, Barcelona put 6 past Olympiacos, with Fermin Lopez netting a hat-trick. Still talking sports, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander scored the winning points deep into double overtime as the Oklahoma City Thunder started their NBA title defense with a 125-124 victory over the Houston Rockets. Reports say last season's MVP scored 35 points, including 2 from the free throw line with just 2.3 seconds remaining in second overtime to get the champions off to a positive start. Houston's Alperen Sengun top scored with 39 and also hit a career-high 5 three-pointers. But Chet Holmgren, who scored 28 points for the Thunder, played a major role alongside match winner Gilgeous Alexander. On our entertainment news, Big Brother Naija Season 10 winner Imisi has shared her struggle with adapting to the demands of fame, noting the constant expectation to maintain a glamorous appearance. Speaking at a recent public event, the reality star revealed that transitioning into life as a public figure has not been easy, emphasizing that one of the biggest challenges is having to wear makeup frequently. Imisi explained that she dislikes having products on her face or body hair, noting that she has always preferred a natural and simple look. However, as a public figure, she now feels the pressure to maintain a polished appearance. And that's all we have for you at this time. Do ensure to follow us on all our social media handles and subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website, spectrumtvlive.ng. You have been watching Spectrum News at 10. My name is Ofonono Joseph. Good morning and enjoy the rest of your Wednesday.